Okay. Click off that. Alright, I think we're all good. Welcome everybody. I haven't checked the audio. I've literally just got back from walking the dog with Rachel. We went around the fields in the dark. So, hopefully this is working. Let me know if it isn't. And I will try and fix it. So, we've got loads of stuff to talk about tonight. And I'm going to try and stick to an hour. So, I'm going to give a brief rundown of what I aim to do. So, one of them is look at the new Age of Sigmar campaign. One of them is look at the new army, which we'll talk about new army from 40k or 440k. So we'll talk about that as well. And we'll have a look at the Wargammer Online forum. I'm going to pick 2 random project logs and we'll have a look at them again, like similar to what we did last week, but we're going to look at 2 Age of Sigmar project logs at random and see what people are up to on the forums. And what else are we going to do? I think that's about it. If there's any other questions, let me know. I know there's one question at the top. I'm going to start with Marty's. Anybody who asks a question, if you do the @Wargamer Online, or one word, and then ask a question, it pops up in orange, and I can see it a little bit easier. But we'll quickly go through who is in the chat, and I think there's a fair few of you already. I know Patrick and Daryl and a few others have been chatting earlier on, and I missed a lot of that conversation, but it looks like the chat started pretty early on. So Patrick's there, Marty, Daryl, as I've said. There's a question there. So I think everyone's talking about dragons. Marty's asked, I was watching a YouTube video earlier, and it had an interesting question. What model would have to come out that you would drop everything for and buy instantly? So, for me, probably Malarian, and I'm waiting for that. So Malekith and his dragon, what was his name? Jeez, I'm supposed to be a Dark Elf fan. So I think it begins with S. Anyway, his dragon basically merged with Malekith and became Malarian. So he's going to be like a giant elf dragon-y sort of creature thing. And when that comes out, I will be starting Dark Elves or whatever they're going to be called at that point. I don't actually care. I'm wanting elves to come out. So that will be the thing that will probably stop all projects there and then. And I will start doing elves. So that's what I will be waiting for, Marty. Even without knowing what's in your bank account, yeah, it would have to be done without knowing what's in the bank account. It'd be like, buy, rejected. Sell an army, buy. But first attempt. So we'll quickly go down this chat. I'm going to try and catch up as quick as possible this time. A lot of debate about the dragons being not dragons from Game of Thrones and the Smaug. Because Smaug, I've said this before, Smaug from Games Workshop is probably my favourite current model that they do. It's one of those projects that, you know, one day down the line I'd probably do and stick a big Dark Elf on the back of it or something. And Daryl said that I always wanted to make Malekith in Warhammer Fantasy Battle, but have him riding the Smaug model. When it came out, I was working in the store and I almost bought it to put Malekith on it. And I'm glad I didn't in a way, because Age of Sigmar came along and changed a lot of stuff. But that was my idea as well, Daryl. You've got good taste. But yeah, apparently they're not dragons, they're worms or weems. Worms. Marty likes Maw Crushers, and why not? Maw Crushers are amazing. And I was editing, so tomorrow morning, I'm bringing it out early rather than doing it 8 o'clock in the evening like we normally do for a release. I'm doing it 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, the Age of Sigmar battle report between myself and Patrick. And I've been taking a long time to edit it. It's been a nightmare because of the audio syncing. We basically filmed it on iPhones, the audio, and it just doesn't synchronize. And I've watched so many videos trying to synchronize it up, and it just didn't work. And it's still not 100% perfect, so you know what I'm like. I was like twitching every time I was watching bits of it. However, it's good enough for me to put it up now, and it was a really good game. If you want to see Tzeentch and Iron Jaws again, I know there's a lot of Iron Jaws on this channel, but Iron Jaws versus Tzeentch, and it was quite a good game. And Patrick obviously travelled all the way from Germany just to come over and see us, and we played as many games as we could. We went to Warhammer World, and this is the first video from that weekend. And I know Phil's sitting on, I think, 3 or 4 battle reports, which he's editing. Right, let's keep going. Ralph Hummel, welcome Ralph. I need to hang out with Ralph. I keep saying, you need to get time. There's not enough time in the day or evenings. The Orc Boys as well. Welcome, the Orc Boys. And Phil, yeah, Phil got stuck in the snow in France. I think he was supposed to be here tonight. However, I don't know where he is. I've had no contact, so I don't know. He's probably still driving up the motorway, getting home. Right. Surreal is here. Welcome, Surreal, with as the first comment. So I imagine that's in relation to the new army for 40k, maybe? I don't know. Derpimus Maximus. We have Gabriel Priest. Welcome to both of you. We've got Fel. Oh, here we go. This must be where it went live. Gabriel Priest, Derpimus, Felhate, Teros. I don't think I've seen Teros before. Welcome, Teros. And it's just skipped. Scott Bile. Welcome, Scott. Johnny Rockstar as well. Welcome, Johnny. And Roa. Welcome. Stupid Custodes, says Surreal. Yeah, so it probably would have been. 3 largest Xenos still have no codex, but we need a 6th Space Marine codex, and we'll talk about that. I hate my Samael doesn't have the last jet bike anymore. Yeah. Mark Burgess as well. Welcome, Mark. And Karanis. It's been a while, Karanis. I hope you're doing well. Furious George. First thing in the morning. Welcome, Furious George. And Happy New Year. Warzone Morlock 40k Battles. That's a cool name. Where's this? Where's his Orc Codex? Where is the Orc Codex, to be honest? Coyote, welcome Coyote. You've got a lot of older viewers popping in now. I don't mean age-wise. I mean viewers that have been with us from the very beginning that are popping up again. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for making the time to come and chat nonsense on a Saturday evening. Ian Stanford as well. And Achaya, welcome Achaya, who's working on his army for the doubles tournament in March, I believe. Liam was telling us yesterday, telling us about this nasty list that Achaya is doing. I don't think it's nasty. I think he's just playing fluffy. Neil Molden. Oh, God, don't skip on me. Although I think I'm near the bottom. This is proper quickfire. Daryl saying it was Seraphon, believe it or not. I don't know what I said now in relation to that. The Warzone's comment about Smaug. Indeed it is Warzone. If they bring back Vulcan, then I'd stop everything. Did you guys go to Warhammer World yesterday? No, we didn't. Phil basically is our organizer of trips around wherever we go. So if we go to Warhammer World, it's based on whether Phil wants to go to Warhammer World. I generally don't drive places because I hate it. Unless I know where I'm going, I'm really bad at driving, so I just don't do it. Hi Sam, so this is Bryn Webster. Hi Sam, first time here, and I just wanted to ask you what you guys use to fill gaps in your models and where you get it. So, now this is really good actually. I just want to show this off again. So I did a review on the A case from the company A case, and they sent us this brush case, and I'm using it for everything now. So you can see all of these tools. Look how many tools are in there. And it just rolls up, and I can take that to Phil's, or I can take it to the store or wherever. But anyway, back to the question. Plastic putty from Vallejo, I believe. Yeah, plastic putty from Vallejo. It's really cheap, and it almost works like filler. So as if you were going to fill a hole in a wall or something. It works in exactly the same way, but it's brilliant for modelling. So all you do is you just squirt a tiny bit of this into the gap that you want to fill. Get one of these like plastic spreaders, or to be fair, you could use a bit of cardboard. You know, this is just buying something for the sake of buying it. I think I got it with the whatever these were called, these little paints. It came with a bunch of these. So I basically squirt the filler, the putty, into the model gap, and then literally just scrape it over the edge, and that will it flattens it out perfectly. And for anyone who's not seen, when the Fire Slayers, because I've given them to Phil now, but when the Fire Slayers are out, I've removed all of their hair and basically gap filled all of the tops of the helmets because they had this gap on the top. And I did use this putty for it, and it was so easy to do. It was brilliant. And in terms of where I got it from, eBay, I think it was about £3 or £4 maximum, and I've hardly used any of it, and it's brilliant. There we go, question answered. Dante Heroes Dungeon, Vulcan lives. Al Kirkham, welcome, Al the Ancient. And we are, well, I keep saying one day I'm going to get on with these Black Dragons. but we'll have Al the Ancient in the Black Dragon army. Danielle Balinari, welcome. Hope I didn't butcher your name. Mark Burgess gets on better with Milliport. Miltiades, I think it's Isle of Man Wargamer, welcome. Green stuff, liquid green stuff. I don't like liquid green stuff for filling gaps. It's basically like a thicker paint and you need to put multiple layers on, and it's better for texturing surfaces. So if you've got liquid green stuff and you've got a flat surface that you want to add some texture to, use liquid green stuff. If you want to fill a gap, use the putty from Vallejo. Honestly, I've never used anything better. Custards in 40k, no thank you, not needed. Yeah. And Surreal's just shared the stream to some Facebook groups. Thank you very much, Surreal. Billy Lynch, welcome. How's things? Busy. Very busy. There's lots of cool stuff going on. Seraphon. Oh, it was called Seraphon. I wanted to say that, but it seemed weird that it was called... It can't have been called Seraphon. Really? So they've just named a race of lizard men on Malekith's dragon. That's interesting. I wonder if Malekith is the true leader of the Seraphon now. Felhate likes Vallejo plastic putty as well. Johnny Rockstar is currently building the Wraith Guard from the Eldar starter set you guys sent as you speak. Well, that's wonderful, Johnny. I'm glad that you enjoyed the starter set that you won, and congratulations again. I think basically Phil's going to draw the December competition prizes as soon as he's back and had a little bit of a sleep, because we've got 2 big prizes to give away. Obviously, I think it's another £150 worth of stuff that we're giving away, so that will be on soon. Frost and Fists, welcome. Sean Blake, another one. Welcome, Sean. Not seen you in a while. And Felhate, that is the tinting set. I haven't used it yet. I need to play around with it and see how it works. Warzone, didn't know I needed a tool case until I just saw that one. Yeah, I didn't either. I've always used a box or a little bag or something to put my stuff in, and now I've got that case. It rolls up. You can pick it up you can pre-order it, but apparently the pre-orders are you've got to wait a long time from A-Case, because it's one guy working his backside off basically to do a really good job with his cases and his brush sets and things like that. And you know what? He rang me the other day as well. We've had so many people contact us to do reviews and first look videos and stuff like that, and we have some good contact between different distributors and companies and things like that do take the time to contact and just chat to you for a bit. Another one that's brilliant for that is Acid Drop. So I've got this to do a unboxing of for December's, and Andy at Acid Drop is brilliant for contact. He's really nice to get along with. But Olo from A-Case, again, brilliant. And he just rang me from Poland just to have a chat and a catch up, and he's a really nice guy. And, just saying he's working his backside off basically to try and make the best product possible. So it's really good when somebody's passionate and they're putting 100% into what they do. And, they're listening to the community. They're doing things for the community. And it's just a bloke who's basically passionate about doing something. And he's the guy who's selling those cases as well. For that one, like I say, you're going to have to wait a little bit for it. But pre-order it. It's about £10, I think. It's not expensive really in the grand scheme of things for the hobby that we're in, and it's nice just to keep all your stuff in. Progress report on the Dreadsaurian. You can see him. He's just chilling there. I need to get him done for March because I think Rachel's taking him to the doubles. So I need to get that done, as well as 1,000 points of Beastmen, which I'm still waiting to arrive on. I mean, we're getting towards mid-January and I've not even got them in my hand yet. And it's the biggest army in terms of models that I've ever chosen to do. And it's looking like 65 infantry models, which is a lot for me. That's normally a 2,000 point army. I'm not going to lie. And I really want to do conversions and stuff in there because I want to try and do the best I can for that. I'm hoping he's going to show it close up. There's not much to show. And my webcam's locked because it keeps playing up. But there we go. Rory. Named after Rory from the Warhammer community team. There we go. You can have a new position. You can see his back end. I hope we don't get taken down by that on YouTube. That's offensive, isn't it? Somebody might get offended by a Dreadsaurian's back end. But basically, the update on that is it needs all of its washers, all of the highlights and layers and everything being done to it. So it's a lot of work. However, my priority at the minute is working on this model for Marty, which is the Abaddon model, and I always forget where it's from. And I'm still putting gold onto it because there's a lot of gold trim. And I'm hoping once I've done the gold on this, it's going to be, I'm going to do all the silver and then the little schools and the cloth. And I think the majority of the base colours will be done then, and I can start shading it. Another rabbit here. However, this one I'm filming, and because it's not for me, because it's for Marty, I'm trying my best to be as neat as possible, so it's taking me ages. And so I'm filming it just to see how long it's actually taken me, and it's far too long. That, you know, if it was my own model, I'd have just chucked paint on it and I'd have been done by now, but I'm trying my best to make it as good as possible for Marty, and because I'm filming it, it will be done as a painting tutorial. I'm going to have to cut out a lot of stuff because I'm filming the whole thing. Normally I just film a bit, turn off the camera and then paint quickly. But I'm filming the whole thing to see, you know, how long it actually takes. Don't forget to plug the premium, says Surreal to Achaya. Kenny Chanzin, welcome Kenny. I hope you're doing well. Fell Hate sounds like Sam. Sounds like Sam says acid drop. Reminds me of my youth. I keep acid drop. There we go. Because I'm from Ilkeston, I don't really pronounce things properly. So everything, rather than saying wasn't it, I just say want it. Or doesn't it, I say dunt it. And it's taken me a while to get used to that. But normally it's want it, dunt it, int it. You don't pronounce words properly when you're from Ilkeston. And acid, I don't, you know, it's just laziness, I think, saying the word properly. Did you go to Warhammer World? We went to Warhammer World with Patrick. I didn't go to Warhammer World to see the new releases. I'm basically going off of what Valrak's put up and what Games Workshop's put up. We'll talk about that, actually. Marty says, I thought the A case looked very interesting, to be honest. I know Table War do something similar in the States. I might try that one. Might try one. The A case, I mean, there's different versions. I'm not going to go into too much with it, but that video was just showing what the new A case plus is like, because they've currently got two cases, which are probably, you know, the quality on the A case is more than good enough for what you need it for. It's made out of steel, so you fold it up and you stick it into a case. The ones that are made with powdered aluminium, so it's got black powdered aluminium, it looks a lot neater, but it's double the price. So you're paying double the price for the frame to be powdered aluminium rather than being bare steel. And the benefit to the bare steel as well is you can put magnets around the entire case on the inside because it's all steel, it's all magnetizable. So it depends what you want. Personally, I don't care about what the inside of the case is like. As long as, you know, for half the price, I'll take the cheaper one any day. But I know some people would want the black powdered aluminium case instead. So it's just preference, really. I need some coffee. I do need coffee, actually. Same as you, Neil. Daryl saying, I know what you mean about high model count. I've made a 1,000 point Deadwalker list on Azir, and it's 132 models, all the zombies. I once did 40 zombies, 6 hex wraiths, a converted chariot thing, what are they called? Black coach, and a necromancer, and I did all of that in one evening, and it wasn't a bad standard, and it stopped me painting for a month because it was more like one full day and then not sleeping, so probably about 24 hours. But I did all of that, and that's fast for me, and I stopped painting for a month. I just basically gave up. It was bad. But I had 40 zombies, and I gave them all to Pink recently. I gave him a big box of models that he can use for D&D when we start playing, and Frostgrave and things like that. You are too kind, says Marty. I'm not too kind. I just want to do a good job for you, Marty. Acid duck if you're from Ilkeston, yeah, A up duck. Do you know the price of the new figurine, or does no one know on that? No, I don't. I think they'll probably be about 40 to £50. I don't think you're going to pay more than that for the 3 set. And Scott Bile saying, hello, Sir Sam of the Gaming Clan. Welcome, Scott Bile, a member of Wargamer Online family, like most of you. Is anyone going? I was going to right. So I've caught up with the chat. Let's get on with what I was going to be planning to do this evening, which is talking about stuff. So can I bring things up? Right, the chat's going to go down for a little bit because Well, for me, you can still talk, but I won't see it. So if I cut to this, turn off studio mode. There we go, I've got it right. Okay, so Games Workshop's announced new year, new armies, and more reveals from the New Year's open day. So now, because of the power of the internet, you don't necessarily need to go to the open day to see everything, and that's in a combination of Facebook. We have Valrak's posts on here, and we have the Warhammer community page here as well. So we'll have a look at both of these, and I could potentially keep up with the chat. Look, I can see on the screen. Any suggestions for non-GW models to stand in for commissars and cog boys not exactly excited about their current range? I think I would have to do some Googling. I know Victorian Miniatures do some really nice conversion kits, but I don't know if they've got any particular commissar stuff. I know Raging Heroes has got a bunch of models, generally female-based models. So Raging Heroes is another good one. And I always get confused with the other. There is another company which is really good for commissar models, but I'd have to Google it. If that elastic band goes, Sammy's gonna end up looking like a pirate. Oh, it's dangerous, isn't it? Oh well. Right, so Games Workshop announced that there was going to be a new army, and I was really excited. I was thinking maybe we're going to see the Harud, maybe we could see some more Necron like the Catan or something coming back. Maybe even the old ones, you could see some of that. They hinted at squats. I wouldn't have. I'm a bit bored of hearing about squats. Everybody talks about squats as if they're the next best thing, but because they came out in the early days. But I imagine if they came out, most people would go, "Oh yeah, they're okay," but I'm still going to stick with Space Marines. Sisters of Battle is another one that and Sisters of Battle I wouldn't class as a new army. When they said new army, I was thinking something new that we haven't seen before, miniature-wise, or we haven't seen many of. So that's what I was half expecting. Then there was some leaks last night with the Custodes as the new army, and I was like, well, really? That's not necessarily a new army, is it? That's an army which currently exists in 30k. It currently exists in 40k. It's not new at all in either sense of the word. However, I've got my things that I really do like about this, and it's not even for this army. The reason that I like the Custodes release, and some of you will know why, because I've been banging on about something that I needed to convert for a while, and I've potentially found something to do it with, so we'll see. But I don't think it's a new army. However, the models are nice. We have a Custodes army. It's one of the only 40k armies that I've got that's painted ready at the moment, and I'm not going to complain about a codex that's going to be usable. So I'm not going to show I don't think I could show the video. I might be able to show the video, but it might be really loud. I don't know how loud this is. So that was the big dude. Oh, go away, adverts. That was the big dude that we saw. And they've got Castellan. I think they called it Castellan Axes or something. 10,000 years. I watched. Now this is the thing that I'm waiting on. Jet bikes. Look at those bolters concealed in the front of there. So I want to do White Scar Primaris Marines, and I wanted to convert my own bikes, and I'm glad I didn't do it straight away, because all it means with these is I chop off this eagle on the front and a couple of the other iconography bits and replace them, and I've got working White Scar Primaris bikes. Look at those. They are beautiful. They are so much nicer. Oh no, I skipped it too late. I feel like they're a lot nicer than the Forge World bikes, and they're cheaper. They will be cheaper. I have grown. And we've got that set of 3 characters. And they're quite nice. I mean, they're giant Custodes, and then there's the Terminator armoured ones that we've seen as well. There we go. That's the oh god, I'm rubbish. Shouldn't be allowed to go clicking on things. Oh, no. Oh my god, Sam. Here we go, right. So this is like it looks like a 3 hero based character. So you've got one with a big axe, you've got a banner dude somewhere, don't know where he is, probably been switched out, and then there's another shield captain. Have you tried? Oh, hold on, I'm reading the chat late, let me have a look in a minute. So that is the release. It's going to have new stratagems, it's going to have new warlord traits, we're going to probably have some new relics as well to put in the army. It's not a bad thing. I was just expecting a proper army, so a little bit deflated, But with the amount of stuff the Games Workshop's doing at the minute, I can't really complain. It's not going to be long until they release new armies. I just wish... I'm still hoping that this isn't the new army that they're talking about. Although it is, because they've already revealed it. We'll quickly have a look at... I was going to keep it a surprise. But I might be coming to England for a miniatures tour, says Surreal. That's awesome. And Michelle... Michelle, welcome Michelle. Felhate, don't you like the new jet bikes to convert to white scars? Yes, exactly. That is the reason I'm most happy about this release. Marty saying the jet bikes have grown on me. Michelle, totally brand new to the hobby. Do you have any tips or advice for painting or collecting? I probably won't be playing much, if at all. Painting and collecting, to be honest, if you're not playing games, you've got so much choice. You've got a wealth of models to pick. In terms of value for money, you've got the starter sets, which are good, but they're generally aimed at starting an army. So if you want to build and paint an army, then the £50 starter sets are probably the best way to try something out and get a whole heap of plastic for less than buying them individually. Most £50 box sets you save, or you get between 20 and 30 to £40 saving on the stuff that's inside it. So that's a good way to amass some models. And if you're just starting to get into painting, they're good to practice on the infantry models. If you've been painting before and you want to try painting individual models, then I would say go through the Games Workshop website and you can select, I'll see if I can do it on here. Let me bring me up for a second. I know you all love seeing this mug, this ugly mug. Games Workshop. I can spell. But my internet cannot load. I'm getting new internet on Tuesday, so it's going to be gambling basically if it's going to work or not. We'll soon see. Continue, you can see my cookies. Right, so what I do, just to see what we can get model-wise, is click on like the Grand Alliance order, for example. Oh, they've changed it. Why? No, they haven't. Unit type down here, and then just click on hero. So for painting, I find this is the best way to look through models just to paint, and you can do this in different searches. So you can do price high to low or low to high. Let's start with the bottom. So if you just want to paint a character look, £6, a Grot Shaman, and you can spend time painting that. Grot War Boss, there's some older models in here that aren't as nice. Generally, they're more expensive if they're newer models, but some of these, look, it's out of stock, but £8 for that Wayfinder. It's a beautiful model. Not too keen on the tree or the old core models, but another Wood Elf. I do like my Wood Elves. What else have we got? Spellweaver. Guess what? Another Wood Elf model that I really like. Oh, there we go, Sorceress. So have a look through the website and just pick some random models to paint individually. But if you want value for money, go for the army boxes and start painting those up instead. Oh, and we've got a great Bray Shaman. I'm having one of those in my Beastman army. We've got some busty Vampire Lords as well. We've got some busty Heroes of Chaos. It's just hidden underneath their armour. Beautiful. I'm going to have to do Wood Elves. These models are amazing. And another Beast Lord. Where was I up to? So that's that question. I need to catch up with the chat quickly, actually, otherwise I'm never gonna do it. So that is that. Waiting for more battle reports, says Kenny. Yeah, well, tomorrow morning, 6 AM, there will be another one, Kenny. So hopefully it's going to be good. I enjoyed watching it back, even though I was editing it. And it's got the wonderful Patrick Metzger in there as well. So what's not to like? Oh, yeah, they're talking about tips for painting as well. So if you're, Michelle, if you're looking for how to paint, I assumed that you were okay painting, but I should have done that. If you're looking at how to paint, there's hundreds of YouTube channels that give you tips on how to paint. And as people have already said, who said it? Mark Burgess says Warhammer TV. They've got Duncan, who teaches you how to paint. He does tons of tutorials, and now Chris Peach is doing it as well, or Peachy. And there's loads of other YouTube channels. When I started looking on YouTube years ago. It started off on his website, but Dr. Faust's Painting Clinic. I started on with that, and there's been hundreds. I mean, I do a lot of painting tutorials, but I don't cover everything, and a lot of the stuff that I do is on the website, not on YouTube. So the 10 to 20 minute painting tutorials focus on painting an entire model, but that's on the website. The stuff I release generally on YouTube is like quick tips of how to paint a part of a model. And I've only done, I think, 2 premium style videos on YouTube, but I'm aiming to do more. Like this model for Marty, this one I'll paint the entire thing, and then I'll make one big tutorial, and that will go up on premium, and then I'll pick bits that are on it. So this really nice sword, I'll do probably painting that sword. I'll pick something that I've not done before, and I'll paint it, and I'll put that up on YouTube of how to paint that. Maybe the skin tone that I've used, I'll put that up as a video on YouTube as well. So I'll break down the premium videos into smaller ones. So is this Grey Knights all over again? Just what we need more Imperial, yeah. And Phil's here, just got home after a 16-hour drive. Need to unpack, but just to say hi, Sam and Monday Musing will be on. That's brilliant. That is awesome. Welcome, Phil. And I'm glad you got back all right. 16 hours, though, you should just go straight to sleep. You shouldn't have even messaged or anything. I wouldn't have done. I'd have probably hit the pillow as soon as I got back. How's the beard? Nice custard stuff. It is nice. Michelle's bought the Get Started box for the Tzeentch in Age of Sigmar. It's a really nice box, and I was looking at the bigger version. I think it's the Arcanite box. It was about £100, and you get the half naked dudes with the rippling abs and the muscles. And I was like, maybe I could do an army of those, but I just don't like the faces. They're like weird, pointy, Tzeentchy things, which is what they're supposed to be, but I wasn't a fan. But Tzeentch, you're going to have quite a lot of fun painting those. You can do any colour really, blues and purples generally, but you could put anything on Tzeentch and it would look awesome. A lot of chat about Phil. What else do we have? Surreal thought you were snowed in somewhere in France drunk. That would be a good excuse. And Daryl is missing Phil's dulcet tones, hopefully make the musings as I'll be early shift for a change. Wonder how long Sam noticed Phil is in chat. I think that was fairly quick. Okay. Right, I've caught up with that. Since Chris is on the Warhammer TV show, the tutorials are less long or interesting than before. Less long. Yeah, I mean, I think they're both really good painted. Chris Peach, I said this ages ago, but on the show, because we were talking about how we got into Warhammer, and Chris Peach was the manager of the Derby store when I started. Or it might not have been, no, it was Chris Pritchard, and Chris Peach was next after him. And Duncan was a sales assistant at the time, and Chris Peach was the one that showed me how to paint, and Duncan helped me paint as well. So both of those are amazing painters, but Chris Peach has got some of the best armies in terms of conversions, and I convert everything, and it's probably due to the fact that sitting in a store with Chris Peach converting stuff from all the time made such an influence on me that now I just do the same. Like naturally I look at stuff and just have to convert it, and that's Chris Peach's fault. And some of the conversions he does are just, you don't even realise until afterwards. He gets bits and pieces from all different models and slaps them together and then chucks a really quick paint job on that looks fantastic, and his armies are amazing. So I'm a big fan of Chris's painting. So maybe the tutorials are less, maybe they're shorter, but sometimes the shorter videos are what you need. The longer ones don't necessarily, you can spend ages just listening to somebody paint for 20 minutes like myself. I really like Awesome Paint Job and Awaken Realms. Both of those are really good. Frank Storm, welcome Frank. And Wyvernfall Gaming, long live chaos. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about then. So Custodes, brand new army. We've got a codex with loads of new bulky rules and stuff that's inside it. We've got a picture here of all of the stuff. It's the jet bikes I'm most interested in because I'm going to chuck them in the White Scars army if I end up doing those, which is highly likely now. We'll see what happens. Next, they've also announced that Thousand Suns are going to be getting their own codex. Everything's going to be getting new codexes, so it's not a surprise that Thousand Suns are going to get some love. They've got a load of really nice models. We've just been talking about Tzeentch and how nice they are, and the Rubric Marines and the Terminators, they're all fantastic models as well. And it's also got stuff about you'll be able to enlist a massive Mutalith Vortex Beast and chuck that in there. I think you could do that anyway, or you could at least do it in... No, I'm pretty sure you could do that anyway. Paul Collier, late to the party, don't worry about it. Got another 30 minutes yet. And Fel hates saying people just have to get used to Peachy. The internet hates change. They do indeed, and Peach is an amazing painter, an amazing converter. Did you watch the paint with Peachy and Duncan? I haven't. I need to watch. I think they've got a hobby hangout, which is the Games Workshop's version of what we were doing. 20 minutes to go, yeah. Sam Coffee tomorrow, potentially, Phil. We do need to go into town, so I think more than likely we can. Just let me know a time and I'll make sure I'm up. My body clock is completely off. Frost and Fist. Is Chris his name? I keep thinking of him as not Duncan. Al just about completed the Tree Lord Ancient and will continue adding to my Sylvaneth army and then on to Dark Angels. That's awesome. So, Tzeentch, awesome. Nothing new there, but what is new is Age of Sigmar stuff. We have the Legions of Nagash Battle Tome, which is coming out. And again, it's another one. I know they've said Death doesn't have much going off, but they had, I think, 3 Alliance updates in the General's Handbook. So, I mean, they still are getting love. Order, obviously, I think, get the most amount of stuff. And I think it's just Elves were missing. And Elves got Way Watchers, Wayfinders. Elves got Wood Elves update in the General's Handbook. But, I mean, Death are getting them. And inside here, I think there's going to be 6 new allegiances inside this book. So there's going to be even more options. What I hope they're doing is not... You know, when they rebooted Age of Sigmar, or Fantasy, and they said, oh, we've got 30 alliances. But in each of those alliances, you couldn't make a full army. So if you wanted to do High Elves, and you wanted to pick stuff just from the Phoenix Alliance, or Allegiance, you had like 3 models. You could pick a Frostheart Phoenix, a Fire Phoenix, or the Phoenix Guard, and then like a character. So you've got 4 models. You can make an army out of 4 models. I mean, you could probably do a 1,000-point force, but you can't make anything more than that. And there wasn't much choice. If you said I was going to bring a Phoenix army to the table, your enemy knew exactly what you had. There was no options. And that was so similar to a lot of the allegiances across Age of Sigmar that they've spread it far too thin. And I think they were doing that with the... I can't remember the vampire, the one... what's it called? I've got the book here actually, so we'll have a quick look. Soul Blight. So I was looking at doing Soul Blight, but again, inside here, there's just not enough units. Wanderers, that was the name for the Wood Elves ones. Wood Elves ones. Where are you, Death? So it's Chaos. And I'd assume it's Death, yes. Yes, it is. So Soul Blight. You've got Vampire Lord, a Coven Throne, a Vampire Lord and a Zombie Dragon. So already that's 3 characters. And then your other units are Bat Swarms, Blood Knights, Fellbats and Vargheists. It's not really a huge amount of choice. And I'm going to actually talk about this with my Brayherd, because I'm doing Brayherd for this tournament. And for me to do a pure Brayherd allegiance to get the rules from here, I have 6 units available, I think it is. Yeah, so I've got Gors, I've got Ungors, and I've got Bestigors. So they're like the 3 battle line that I can choose if I'm doing the Brayherd allegiance. And the only way I can get the Bray Stone and all of the rules for using the allegiance is if I stick to these units. So I've got those 3, and then I've got a Bray Shaman, or a Beast Lord. So I've got 2 characters. One's 80 points, one's 90 points. Neither of them are going to be hard hitting. And then I've got a Tuskor Chariot. Oh, and I've got Ungor Raiders. But, I mean, you're never going to choose Ungors. You can have 40 of them in a unit. You can have 40 Ungor. I mean, you just take Gors, or you'll take Ungor Raiders. There's just not a lot of choice. And then on top of that, your war herds, you have to ally in. I'd have said just put war herds and bray herds together so that I can have Bestigors with the big Gorgons and the Doombull. That's still not loads. I mean, the extra option there is, I mean, this is even worse. If you want to do a war herd allegiance army, you're allowed a Cygor or a Gorgon. They're your big behemoths. And then you're allowed for a leader, you've got one choice, which is Doombull. And for your battle line, you've got Bulgors. You literally just go, I'll take that, that, and that, because there's no choice. Whereas if at least they mixed war herds and bray herds together, you'd have a little bit more choice. Still not as much. And I think I was looking at the Chaos stuff. Tzeentch, I think, alone has got something like 14 hero choices, which is more than bray herds and war herds have got choice-wise together. So without banging on, I'm just hoping that these 6 allegiances which are inside this book aren't similar to what the allegiances are in the General's Handbooks and the normal rules. I hope they're fleshed out. I hope they give you options and choices while still giving you some quite fluffy rules to use. So we'll see what they're like and hope that it's going in the right direction. Because choice is one of the biggest things when you're making army lists. If everyone turns up with the same list just because of the army they've chosen, it's quite boring. And these are all linked as well. So there's the Legion of Night, the Legion of Sacrament, Legion of Blood, and then the Grand Host. And they all correlate to the Mortarchs. So there's 3 Mortarchs and there's Nagash. And there's 4 different ones there that you can choose from. So Death players will be enjoying that. And we've got a picture of Warhammer World here about the events. And then we've got talking about, I'm sure it was in here as well, March. There we go. So for starters, March will see Warhammer Age of Sigmar players battle over the wonders of the Algoraxi in a campaign weekend. So, or they'll be able to battle alongside a friend in the doubles tournament. So that's the one that we're going to. Hopefully we get the ticket straight away. But that's what we're going to be going to. And hopefully we'll see some of you lot there as well. And we've got the Grand Tournament. So, I think I've kept, let me just go back to the chat. I'm going to make sure I've caught up. Why is that saying dodgy connection? I hope it's still on. It better still be on. Ravenwing, says Frank Storm. Love Peachy, he's so fun, says Paul Collier. Chai is saying they do have a hobby hangout. Phil's off. See you later, Phil. The Orc Boys. It was 3 2-hour sessions. It was 3 2-hour sessions. And Chai has finally got an excuse to buy Nagash. Yeah, I think Death is going to get a lot of love now. Surreal. Duncan and Peachy need to fight to the death. There can be only one. I got $20 on Duncan painting the room with 2 thin coats of Peachy's blood. And Frost and Fist, praise be to Duncan. Fell hate, Peachy will just challenge Duncan to a staring contest. And Peachy will win. Or Peach. Duncan will tell you he's learnt a lot from Chris. Yes, 100%. Fell hate saying Legion of Blood looks pretty cool. Might start that as soon as I can talk the wife into it. And Achaya saying Maggotkin Battle Tome also released with new minis. Can only hope Death AoS will have some new minis to go with it. Yeah. And Felhay wants to do Nurgle just for the Nurglings. There's so many different Nurglings in there. It's ridiculous how many options there are. Ridiculously good. But I think Age of Sigmar, last year was very much 40k, the year of 40k. I think this year will be the year of Sigmar. I think there's going to be a lot more on the way through Sigmar. I'm just going to have a quick look as well. Going back to the Custodes before we move on. We have Achaya, convert Gilliman with his wide stance on leg on each Custodes jetbike. It's going to be expensive for a flying Gilliman. So this is from Chapter Master Valrak. If you're not already following him on YouTube or Facebook, just follow. He's got loads of stuff. Normally there's enough leaks and rumours and all sorts on here. And he does some good content and plays a bunch of games. So check out Mr. Valrak. And he's basically been to the open day. So he's taking pictures and showing what's going off here. We've got pictures of the Custodes. They're the current ones. Nothing new there. They're the newer ones. I think they're called Alaris, or I've probably got that wrong. I'm pretty sure it starts with ALL. All the Custodes. So that's the pictures of those. We've got a picture of the stuff that was in the codex, I believe, or at least in that shot. So we've got the jet bikes at the back. We've got the Contemptors. We have the normal Custodes all there. We've got the new, all the Custodes Terminators, and some more there. And then we've got the characters here. So, you know, a bit of added bulk. Not really a new army. There's been a few units, but these things are just being stolen. 100% being stolen and put into the White Scar army. Somebody's commented, this triggers my jet bike. What does it say? Jet bike fetish. Oh. Oh. There we go. Better shot of some of the robed characters. These are new models with new robes. Okay. What else do we have? So that's the picture from there. We've got an update on Age of Sigmar as well. So this is the Malign Portents. This is the new campaign. They said that last year, or the year before actually, they were going to do a 40k campaign. They were going to do an Age of Sigmar campaign. And we've seen the 40k one that happens. This is the Age of Sigmar one. And it's not just a campaign because it's fleshed out some of the background for Age of Sigmar. A lot of people, including myself, have been a little bit kind of wondering where things were going. Don't Custodians wear black robes in 40k? Yes, they do. I think that was black robes. I can't go back on it now. I'm pretty sure some of them were black, some of them were red. But yeah, I mean, the background for Age of Sigmar, the old world obviously got shot down, and everything was kind of just fitted in. It felt like things were just pushed into place to fit for now. However, now they've kind of expanded it, and they're doing the timeline, which is brilliant. So we've got characters, and we've got the leaders of each of the factions. Some of them are, well, actually I think all of these models are really nice. The timeline, which we'll go through briefly, and then we've got the realms. So it's got what's going off in all of the realms, and I think this is what's been needed for the Age of Sigmar world, more than, I'm going to say, models at the moment. There's just not enough background. Excuse me. You get free wallpapers as well. Can't check it out. So we'll look at the characters. We have Vorus Starstrike. It's a shame they haven't put the actual models on here, because that was really nice. So he's almost like an old Empire Free Guild mixed with a Stormcast. He's got some really cool looking Celestian Hurricanum things on his back. And he's the leader of the Order in this campaign by the look of it. We've got the female Chaos Warlord, which I absolutely love the model of this. Again, I wish they had the models on here. And they don't. So Marakar Bloodsky. She has sworn dread pacts with Chaos that she will bring carnage to the mortal realms, and her kin obey her without question. All who stand in her way will face her wrath. It looks a little bit more like an undead character on the artwork, but she's definitely more human looking in the miniature. We've got Snazgar Stink Mullet, which is just a perfect goblin name. The model is like probably the most characterful model I've seen in a long time, and I think it's the one that's got like a little pet on his shoulder or on the top of his staff or something, which is really cool. The fungoid cave shaman leads his green-skinned brethren from amidst a cloud of toxic spores. Really cool model. Love the name. I love the names for the goblins that they've done, and I'm very tempted to add him to my destruction army. And then we've got Keldrek, which is part of Death. So this is a flying, almost like not a banshee, what were they called? Like a wraith sort of character. The Knight of Shrouds is a traitor to his own kin, a turncoat who was called to rule in Nagash's hellish dystopia rather than serve in Sigmar's heaven-sent armies. So sounds like he's turned against Sigmar. I mean, we did hear rumours of like almost like a heresy, a Sigmar heresy, with the Stormcast turning against Sigmar. And I'm wondering maybe if this is one of them. I mean, he's obviously turned to Death. He's working for Nagash rather than Sigmar. Maybe there's going to be some more turncoats, because, you know, it's happened now. Maybe we'll see some that will turn against Sigmar and go to Chaos instead. But we'll see if it's anything like the Horus heresy with the Primarchs and that sort of armies being led by traitors or not. My throat. Oh, right. Looking forward to AoS expansion, says Al. And like the new Custodes, I will add them to my growing Custodes army. Yeah, I think anybody who's got Custodes will have to just chuck them in there. There's no reason not to. Surreal, you need to put Stewie's cage behind you sometimes. It's too big to fit behind me. I could put Stewie behind me, but he'd probably eat me. He's like the rabbit from the Holy Grail. Johnny Rockstar, Gilliman's wide stance is exactly the width of the new plastic Thunderhawk model, so he can ride one into battle. That's amazing. Right, we've got the timeline for Malign Portents. So this goes over, I mean, I'm not going to go through all of this, there's a lot. But if anybody's, wondering about the background for Age of Sigmar, check out the timeline. That will give you a brief overview of what went off. You've got the Age of Myth, which was when basically the old world got destroyed. Sigmar was floating around the galaxy, got picked up by the flying dragon, and the dragon showed him all of the realms. And Sigmar basically was like, oh, let's populate the realms with all of the races that we currently know, like Seraphon and Oryx and all of the others. And in this time as well, they all worked together. So, and it says that they all worshipped him as their god king. So it's got all of that in here, and all of the pantheons working together. Then you've got the Age of Chaos with Betrayal. So Nagash turned on Sigmar. Chaos basically battered everything. All of the realms got destroyed. I think they pretty much got completely battered. Sigmar retreated to the heavens, or the Azir, whatever it's called, and basically locked the gates and was like, you can all fend for yourself. I've been betrayed. I'm going to go and build an army. I'll see you when I'm ready. And that's pretty much the Age of Chaos, and Chaos stomped across the lands and destroyed everything. And then you've got the Age of Sigmar, which is obviously where we're at now. That's where the Age of Sigmar began. That was the gates being opened, and Sigmar and all of the Stormcast deciding to go back out and purge all of these realms, kill Chaos, push them back, and take control of the realms again. And now we're starting to see things like Hammerhelm, I think it's called, or Hammerhell. Some of the cities that have been built up by Sigmar and all of the races that are around these realms and going forwards. So that's telling you the timeline. And then this Malign Portents is Nagash. So Nagash basically got beat back into his little crypt or whatever. And he's been planning and he's been working on what he wants to do. And this is the start of the plan. So we're going to see what Nagash has been up to. We'll see how Sigmar responds and what Chaos is going to be doing and what all of the armies do in those times as well. So it's quite exciting in terms of background and, just the bulk of story being built up, because I don't think anything's better for a game, or at least a war game, than having good solid background that you can base your armies and base your games and your campaigns around. And it looks like that's what they're doing with it. We'll have a quick look at the realms. So we already know there's a bunch of realms. I think there's 8. So Shyish is the realm of death. That's where Nagash is. Click to explore the... I've not even looked at this. Click to explore the Innerland Marches. Oh wow, that's cool. So this is the campaign that's being fought over by the look of it. The Glittering Marsh. Blah blah blah. It's a horrible place. Nobody comes here. Assassin's Rest. Why would anybody live in Assassin's Rest? You couldn't sleep at night. Provided a soul can stay on the right end of the dagger, that is. Yeah, just don't live there. Don't live somewhere that's called Assassin's Rest. Endless Boneyard. These are really nice sounding places, aren't they? Al saying, I think the multiple reforging of the Stormcast may be turning them to death and maybe chaos. Yeah, that's a really good thought. I think somebody was saying, I was reading online that basically whenever something dies, Nagash normally takes it, so joins Nagash's Legion of Death. And when the Stormcast die, Sigmar basically steals them from Nagash, because it's supposed to be going to Nagash. And Sigmar goes, yeah, that's mine. I'm going to put him back in the armour and we'll carry on again. So Nagash is obviously going to be like, whoa, hold on a minute. They were mine. They were my minions and you're taking them from me. So maybe it gets to the point where Nagash and Sigmar are both fighting over who gets the soul and which way they go. And every time they die, they lose a little bit of themselves. So maybe the bit that they're losing is their loyalty to Sigmar, and they're easily influenced. So every time they die, they're getting closer to being able to turn to chaos or death, or just go off and do their own thing. And maybe that's part of the story. That would be really cool. And I think one of the things, I know mine wasn't, he got wiped out. I did a character for the Age of Sigmar character creation conversion thing that we did last year. And the story behind that guy, I forgot his name now. But the story behind him was that the Chaos Gods loved him so much that they were just gifting this guy powers. So he was one of the big Stormcast characters. He was working very closely with Sigmar, and Chaos loved him, and they kept giving him all these gifts, so he started to mutate hideously, and Sigmar was like, no, we can't have you in our ranks anymore. We're gonna have to kick you out. We're not gonna kill you, we're just gonna banish you from the heavens. So they kicked this character out, and he wasn't working for Chaos, even though he was being gifted by Chaos. He still was loyal to Sigmar, and he basically just wandered the realms, killing Chaos and destruction and everything. But he was still getting gifted by Chaos because they didn't care. They didn't care who he was fighting for. They just thought, this will be a laugh. Let's give him some armor. Well, let's give him some gifts. Let's mutate his head a little bit and give him some superpowers. And we'll see what happens. We'll have a bit of fun with him. And where is the upside down? I just read that. I wonder what the upside down pyramid is. Well, is that the Shire? Oh, that might be the Black Pyramid. Maybe it's been turned upside down. The whole... Oh, it's a monolith. Adrian Binko. The whole event will end up as usual. Skaven will blow up Nagash's pyramid for the 4th time. Yeah, the Black Pyramid, it never gets a rest, does it? The Skaven are always at his back. Johnny Rockstar, planning on getting some demonettes and Dark Elf Witches to try and model the demonettes without the lobster claws, which I hate. And I completely agree with you, Johnny. That's the one thing that's stopping me from doing Slanesh. And they can have either whips or daggers instead. Yeah, 100% with you on Johnny. That would look awesome as well. You'll have to keep us updated if you do that. Oh, don't zoom in too much. Furious George, I love hearing Sam talk about lore. I'm not as well versed as... there we go. I'm not as well versed as some of the other lore. Mine's just summed up background. It's not as good. Right. Mark Burgess, so tired after work, I'm struggling to stay awake. I'm probably sending you to sleep as well by just chatting away. Right, let's look. Also, is it just me or is the new Goblin Shaman standing on a Tyrannid head? Let's go back to that. Oh, we haven't seen it there, have we? We'll have to have a look for next time. Right, I did say before I was going to go off, we were going to have a look at some project logs. I'm going to pick 2 that I haven't looked at. Corrupted Elven Waystone. Ah, maybe this is Patrick's Waystone. We're going to have a look at this first. I haven't seen it on here. So this is the Waystone that Patrick is building for the Beastmen. And it's supposed to be a corrupted Elven Waystone that the Bray Herds are using. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Look at that. That looks really cool. So it's going to be piled up with skulls and armour and other stuff. Barbaric Beastmen would donate to Zinch. That looks really cool. Little cracks and stuff that are in there. Yep, so there's some chat on there. No way, Sam. Ralph, right with you now. Just squashed the nozzle of my airbrush by accident. Done for tonight. Ah, man. I always say I'm going to get an airbrush and then I always chicken out because I know I'll break them instantly. Right, let's do what I said I was going to do. We're going to have a look at... So last week we looked at some 40k, a couple of 40k project logs. Tonight we will look at Age of Sigmar project logs. Surreal saying you're at an hour. I know, but I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to do it. So last week we looked at Daryl's 40k. Maybe we'll have a look at Daryl's again today, but I'm not going to pick from the top. Let's pick... Let's have a look at a couple of these, actually. And Al's heading off. See you later, Al. Watching the football playoff games are starting. See you later, Al. Right. So we have... Orc Boys Shadespire figures, which are looking absolutely fantastic. I wonder if I can click on this and it brings it up. Look at that. Technology working. That's really good. I know how difficult it is painting bone as well on skeletons. So you've done a really good job there. And, oh, on the website and the forum works so well that we can just click through like this. Really like red. Red, black, and bone. Mark Burgess, been up since 6, started work at 7 and did an 11-hour shift. Got in just after 6, had dinner and been watching my son play computer games and just put him to bed. Wow. That's, I don't know how you're still awake, Mark, but well done. I think you need a lot more coffee and I think you probably just need some rest. while trying to listen to this as well. Marty, the Patriot 105 seems pretty solid. I haven't broken mine yet. I think Phil was recommending the 105 as well. I think it's just the setup. I haven't got much room in this area, in this room, for like the fan to take the paint out the window. I haven't got the room for the compressor. You know, it's quite cramped in here with everything that's going on. So I think I'd need a bigger space before I start doing airbrushes. Phil's got the perfect setup. He's got a massive space with cables going everywhere, and it's perfect, but not for me. Surreal. Woke up 10 minutes before this stream, still haven't put pants on. That's wonderful. Oh, I love that model. That's brilliant. I've still got the Shade Spire models to build. That's really nice. Sam, I really like hearing you talk about lore as well, and I need to learn more about AoS. What would you think about a low work segment on the channel of just your charismatic voice teaching lore? I could do, but again, it requires a lot of reading and checking up facts. And I know that a lot, you know, people who enjoy the lore, if you get something wrong, you're going to get slated for it. And I feel like, you know, I mean, I'll try it, because obviously we do battle reports, we do tutorials, and they take a lot of time to do as it is. So I don't want to take away any more time than I've currently done, especially with the armies I've got to do. But I'd love to do, if I could compile a bunch of lore and just read it off, then I'd definitely love to do it. And, you know, Kitetsu, he does a lot of lore videos as well, and there are places to go for that. So if people really want to hear me, oh, that's a rabbit hair. If people really want to hear me talk about lore, or maybe my thoughts on it, then I can definitely do it. So that is, I don't know, let's see if there's any more. Oh, yeah. Oh, we've seen these. Okay, awesome. So that's the Orc Boys stuff. What else can we pick? Let's pick Ralph's Stormcast Prosecutors. Bearing in mind he's just broken a bit of his airbrush. We'll have a look, because he's put these up on the Facebook page, and they're also, oh god, that's a big picture. So he's been working on, I can't put my finger, I was going to point at the different bits, but you can't see that. I'm going to have to just scroll across. So the one on the right, you can see the shading's gone onto it, and since then the gold's been added. It just looks absolutely amazing. I love the blue. I love anything blue, really. But blue, white, and gold, which we'll see if he's put it up on here. It just looks absolutely fantastic. So this is Ralph using the 105 Patriot as well, with scale 75 colours and a bit of Vallejo ivory. Oh no, there's no more. Right, I've definitely seen some more, so we'll see. Hopefully they'll be up there next time. You know what, I said I was going to look at 2, but what's this? Oh, this is somebody using the permafrost Frostgrave base thing that I did. So this again has been on Facebook, but it's on here as well. That's really good. So these are the Shadespire bases, which have had the Frostgrave basing tutorial used on it. So the crackle paint with the blues underneath it. That's come out really nice. And obviously you can do blues or you can do whites. Oh. You can make it more blue or more white. Ah, there you go, look at that. They look proper frosty, look at that. Ah, nice little bit of, I think that was actually where there was a cocktail stick, if I remember. There was a cocktail stick in the base and it made it go weird, but it kind of looks a little bit like yellow snow. One of the Stormcasts got a little bit impatient. That's really cool. And you know what? Let me just open the last 4. We'll have a quick skim through. And anybody who wants to put project logs on here, we're going to do the Age of Sigmar Chronicles again, which will be the army building projects, and we'll be using the forum to showcase it, because you can just keep updating your stuff, and we'll be using this a lot more to showcase them. These are Ulster Nation's Jade Stormhost, so these are Stormcast. So these are the samurai inspired Stormcast, which are awesome. And he's tried to do the Jade, which has come out really nice for the armour. I love these shoulder pads, and I think I may have to, I love samurai in any sense. They just look fantastic. What have we got next? We've got Lee's High Elves. Oh no, what's going on with the pictures? Don't do this to me. Ah, there we go. I don't know what's going on, but we can almost see. We've got some Sea Guard. Very metallic-y Sea Guard as well, actually. Some Wanderers. And I wonder if we've got any Dark Elves in here as well. I don't know what's going on with these pictures, though. Oh, wow, it's a proper mix. We've got Order and Chaos. We've got more Chaos. Why is that not loading? Might be better just to go down this way, actually. There we go. Got more Wood Elves. I love these models. Kernoth Hunters. Ralph saying it's on Facebook. I've been at work all day, says Fellhate, back again at 6 AM tomorrow. What a shame. That's really bad. Mark, being 55 now. Yes, I know, old fart. My eyes struggle painting detail these days. Still love all forms of modelling though. I'm not even 30 yet and my knee was playing up today. I was walking, it's been hurting me all week, and we went for this walk just before I came on the show, and I was saying to Rach, my right knee is pretty much giving in. I'm struggling to walk on it, and I'm not even 30, so I don't even know if I'm going to make 55. So the fact that you're working and staying up that long, fair play to you, Mark. Mark gets every other Sunday off. Wow. Ralph, been brushing for 2 hours. About 8 colour changes with just water down the hose and swiping the chamber clean. I dropped it because I forgot to unplug it from the hose and tripped over the hose. Wow, that is a nightmare, as Marty said. Now, everyone's really tired tonight. I'm sorry if I'm just boring you all then. It looks like everybody's been working 12-hour shifts and you've come on to listen to me drone on, maybe just to get your final sleep. Where was Elston? I don't know. I've not spoken to Elston for a while. I need to try and get in touch. Yeah, put it on, Ralph, and I'll come back to yours. Right, let's get through this. Nothing else there. We have Coleman. Ooh, I've seen these before. It doesn't necessarily show. I can't show you as well on this stream as Phil does, but I love these. I love Coleman's colours that he's chosen on this. This metallic green with the bronze, the gold, the silver. I don't know how many metallics you can put in here, but look at that. Brilliant colour scheme. I would have said, if somebody said to me, I'm going to use all these different metallics and chuck them on one model, I'd have gone, yeah, it won't work. But it does work, and it looks brilliant. The orange and the green with all those metallics looks fantastic. Surreal, I'll trade your right knee for my left. I know your knee, your picture on Facebook, Surreal. I think I'll keep mine, but thanks for the offer. Marty's going to get a few hours of wowing before bed. I really wish I had time for WoW these days. Never mind. One day. Homish1, welcome Homish. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. And Paul Collier, we love you. Same, Sam, you inspire us. That's why we are here. Rachel still puts my videos on to send her to sleep. So that's where I get the idea that I just send people to sleep. Give me 5 minutes. Pick included, says Cyril. So this is Daryl's corn. I think we've shown these before, but there's no harm in showing them again. I do love Chaos, and I love the Bloodborne. That was my second choice. Good to know that you are well, Homish. Beautiful models. And a great job on those, Daryl. Forum's got a lot of chat on it. And then what's this? Don't know. I'm just going to make sure I haven't skipped any, because I know people don't like it when I skip. And I'll show you my Fire Slayers, because these are going to Phil now. They've all been built. They've been converted. Yeah, my pictures don't work either. So you can see the back of these, the hair, I've basically chopped off where the hair is, and I've filled all of these gaps since, and they've all been sprayed, ready for painting. So Phil can probably get these done in a night. Oh yeah, we haven't seen these. These are from Andrew Begg. With I'm going to have to just show it on the screen there. Really nice skin tones. I think these were done actually. I have seen them. I'm pretty sure these were the ones that were basically sprayed white, and then the skin tone is just a wash that's been added to it. It's a really nice skin tone, quick effect, and that goldy brass colour or bronze colour is really nice. Ah, just a random marauder. Okay, right, let's see if Ralph has updated. No, not yet. Okay. Oh, I'm clicking on things. I'm breaking stuff. So, stuff that's coming up while we wait for Ralph. Give him a few minutes. I hate technology. There we go, it's working. What's going on then? So the battle report's coming out tomorrow. I'm going to try and finish this Abaddon model as soon as possible and get it done for the premium tutorial. We need some more premium content. It's been a while. Christmas has basically stunted both me and Phil, and we're doing our best to try and get as much content on there as possible. So that's going to be one tutorial. Then when the Beastmen arrive, I've got a big job doing those. I'm obviously going to paint Rory the Dread Saurian, so that will be another one that will go. I think Phil's got the video footage for the priming and the base coating for all of those colours, so he may do a video separately, and then I'll do a separate video with all of the washing and the layering and the highlighting that's going to be done on the Dread Saurian. I also said I was going to do a video on weathering using not Scale 75, AK Interactive products, so I'll try and get that done. And I've got the acid drop video for the unboxing, which I'm going to do. Sam, did you see the link to the army lists and spells? I haven't clicked on it, Patrick. I went to bed really late last night because I finished the edit. I wanted to get it uploaded and done, and I'd basically gone through your voice, your army list where you were talking about what was in the army list, and I went on the Azir app and I added all the spells in properly, and I think I got the list correct. I've got it to 1,990 points. I hope it's right, Patrick, but it's too late for me to edit it now because it's a 7.5 gig video. So I had to export it and upload it to YouTube, and it's ready for 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But I'll check it just to double check. It should be there now, says Ralph. Let's have a refresh. What else is going on in terms of content? So it sounds like me and Phil are going to have a coffee tomorrow so we can catch up and see what's going on there. And why is that not loading very well? Oh wow, Ralph, that is beautiful. I love the gold, I love the blue, and I love the white. That has turned out amazing. That is some beautiful Stormcast wings. Now you've just got hundreds of models to paint then, Ralph. Not much. That's awesome. I'm glad we waited. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I've not done much else. I've been watching some videos. I need to catch up on some people's content because I'm trying to catch up on things. When I start doing the Beastmen, I will be listening to all sorts of videos on YouTube. I'll probably catch up with some Frost and Fist content, some Kitetsu, probably tune into as many Valrak live shows as I can, and obviously check out Elster Nation's live shows and everyone else that I watch. Trying to think what else I've been watching really. Me and Rachel have played a bit of Ark, which has taken time. We've got our own private server on the Xbox, so we can play that. But yeah, it's going to be getting on with the Bray Herds. Phil's got his Monday musing on Monday, and that's pretty much it. I think we're going to call it. It's 15 minutes past 10. My dinner is waiting downstairs for me. Thank you everybody who's joined me this evening. I do enjoy doing these Saturdays as whenever I can, and it's nice when so many of you turn up to have a little chat with me as well. So everyone stay well for the rest of the week until I come back and give you more well wishings. I think you know, until I've spoke to Phil, I don't know when we're going to do another live show. We could do one on Wednesday. It may not be till next Saturday that you see me, but I'll do what I can until now. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you when I see you.